another thing that people asked me about a lot was what it was like to go to Mexico for cancer treatments. And that's a pretty interesting story about how that all played out. And what you've got to remember is, I got the hopeless diagnosis, death sentence. So nothing was really a gamble, because as far as I was concerned, the clock was ticking, and, there was a good chance I was going to lose anyway. So it was real easy to roll the dice without, being really worried about it. But it's an interesting story about how that all played out. That was the second time I had stage 3B cancer when it came back, and it came back way worse than it was the first time. And I was getting sicker and sicker, and we were out of money. We were really out of money, and we were trying to figure out what to do. And I met a woman named Rita, who was a cancer advocate, lived down in Florida. And she knows everybody in the cancer world, whether it be traditional medicine or holistic or integrative or, different countries. And she knows everybody. And she had been trying to find somebody that she thought could treat me. And in the meantime, I'm still every day, I'm taking the, what's now the RawganX super green juice powder. Still taking that. I'm probably taking that twice a day now. And I'm still feeling pretty good, but it's obvious the tumors are really growing. So, the RawganX powder is doing what it needs to do. It's keeping me healthy. And she gave me a couple options. She had made lots of calls, and she'd, given me a number of options. And one of them was to go to Germany, but it was really super expensive, and it was a clinic I thought could really help me, but we had already spent pretty much all of our money. We were pretty close to broke already, if not broke. And so how it played out was I was getting worse and worse. I could literally lay in bed, and I could feel every night, I could tell the big tumor in my abdomen that got up to, I think, 22 centimeters. I could feel it. I could literally rub it. I could feel it every night on my back getting bigger. And my wife knew this. And one day I'm getting ready for bed. It's probably about 9 o'clock at night. And she came home from work. She's working in the hair salon. And she knew I wasn't feeling well. And I mean, we weren't really talking about it, but we knew things were getting bad again, really bad. And I was laying on the bed, kind of getting ready. And I was, of course, reading a book. And she walked in, and she had an envelope. And she plopped down on the bed, and she plopped the envelope on the bed, and it was a big manila envelope, and she opened it up and dumped it out, and it was filled with singles and fives and tens. And I said, "What is this?" And she said, "I've been collecting my tips." And she knew that I had been talking about a couple of different places other than going to Germany that Rita had told me about. And one was in Los Angeles. We're living in Naples, Florida at the time. And one was in Los Angeles, California. And the other was in Mexico, not far off of the Tijuana border. And either way, we knew we were going to need between $15,000 and $25,000 just for them to try treating me. And I looked at the money, and I looked at her, and I said, "So now what?" And she said, "Pack your things and go." And I said, "Where?" "I don't know." She said, "I don't know." She said, "But we know either one of the places is west. Get on the road and start heading west." So it's 9 o'clock at night. I literally pack up my bags because, remember, I mean, time is of the essence here. I mean, the clock's ticking, so it's not like, let's go to bed and I'll leave this weekend, right? We didn't have that kind of time. So I literally packed my stuff up and got on the road on I-75 heading north. And I got on the phone with Rita. I got her on the phone, and I told her what had happened. I said, Melanie came home with a bunch of tip money and said, go, take this money and let's see how far we can get treated with what we have. And I don't even remember how much was in it, but it was an envelope of ones, fives, and tens, I think. And So she said, all right. And she got off the phone. She said, just keep driving. So I got off the phone with Rita. And over the course of maybe the next 10 or 12 hours, Rita kept calling me back and we kept discussing it. And she started getting her doctor friends on the phone. And one of them, she got on the phone on a 3-way call with me in the middle of the night, like 10, 11 o'clock at night. She got on the, it was later than that, might have been midnight. She got on the phone with a very well-known doctor, cancer doctor out of Houston, a doctor that had been, had really over the years, there's actually a documentary about him on, that you can find online and on Netflix, Stanislav Brzezinski. And he had been having really, really good luck with child cancers, brain cancers, things like that. And she got him on the phone. Turned out he's a friend of hers. This guy's internationally known. He's like a rock star in this world of cancer. And we're on a 3-way call and we're talking. And finally he said, you're so far along and I don't have enough experience with what you have. He said, I don't think it makes sense for you to come to me. And we kind of ended the phone. And I thought, during this whole journey, I'd met so many people. I mean, people that are just, world-renowned people. And, and they're taking their time to talk to me in the middle of the night is just really, with no benefit to themselves, it was just really cool. So we got off the phone with her and I just kept driving. And I want to say the next day I want to say in Texas or so. And it's the middle of the night and we were on the phone with a doctor in Mexico at an alternative clinic. And we did a 3-way call with him and he thought he could help. He was pretty confident, really nice. Again, another middle of the night call. And so I want to say I was in West Texas by the time we made the determination that I'm going to Mexico and I don't know where I'm going to stay, where I'm going to go, who I'm going to meet. All I know is I'm in my car with an envelope full of cash and got my fingers crossed.